Good evening and thanks for joining us. A report from the U.S. Justice Department says the law enforcement response to the Uvalde mass shooting was a failure. That report highlights confusion, miscommunication, and a lack of urgency among law enforcement. News 3's investigative reporter Donnie Tuggle's been covering school safety for us, and he's with us tonight with more on that. Donnie.
Rusty, Katie, 19 students, 2 teachers killed, and at least 17 others were physically injured that day. While this report highlights many failures, the Department of Justice says the report aims to honor the victims and offer recommendations for preparing and responding to mass shootings.
We have concluded the department's review, but we know that the work of healing here in Uvalde is only beginning.
U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland on the ground today in Uvalde, meeting with loved ones of the victims of the horrific mass shooting at Robb Elementary School, releasing a 575-page report outlining what he says were a series of major failures, including failures in leadership.
Law enforcement officers from different agencies who had self-deployed to the scene in overwhelming numbers were themselves waiting for leadership decisions about how to proceed.
The report then outlines chaos and confusion in the aftermath of the shooting, with students not receiving immediate medical attention and families giving incorrect information about their loved ones' survival.
Families searching desperately for their loved ones were sent to different places all across town: the high school, the civic center, the hospital. Some of these details are gut-wrenching. Families hearing about the need for autopsy results as the first indications that their loved ones may not have survived.
Those families voicing their pain and frustrations after the report was released Thursday, calling for accountability.
It's hard enough waking up every day and continuing to walk out on these streets and walk to an HEB or drive to an HEB and see a cop that you know was standing there while our babies were murdered and bleeding out.
I hope that the failures end today and that local officials do what wasn't done that day, do right by the victims and survivors of Robb Elementary.
President Biden released a statement today saying that the White House will work with the Justice Department and the Department of Education to implement policies. Live in studio, Donnie Tuggle, News 3.
Donnie, thank you. Less than 5 months after the Uvalde tragedy, Governor Greg Abbott appointed the first Chief of School Safety and Security of the Texas Education Agency. 1 year ago, Bryan and College Station ISDs accepted $1 million each from the Donald and Donna Adam Family Foundation, with the potential to get another $1.5 million each. In September of this past year, House Bill 3 went into effect, requiring an armed security guard or officer to be present throughout the school day at every school campus.
Governor Greg Abbott released a statement today thanking the Department of Justice for its review and saying, in part, the state of Texas has already adopted and implemented some of the recommendations proposed by the DOJ in this review. We will continue to evaluate all possible means of making our schools safer, and we will carefully review all other recommendations the department has offered to prevent future tragedies across our state.